It all started with Super Mario Brothers, 1985. The game that really blew up for the NES and has been a symbol of video game culture ever since. It is a game that I didn't play for the NES for years after. I actually wound up playing Super Mario Brothers and seeing it for the first time via the Versus Super Mario Brothers coin-op in 1986. I played it at a roller skating rink in Chicopee, Massachusetts, which is just north of Springfield. And the name of the roller skating rink was called the United Skates of America, or USA. I couldn't roller skate worth a darn, but it was a really cool place to be social. There were some arcade games and pinball machines, and yeah, I did some roller skating, or at least tried to from time to time. What I remember about the game was that I watched someone play all the way through it before I played it myself. The person who had played it waited until there was a crowd of other teenagers that were gathered around. Apparently they knew that he was pretty good at it. He put his quarters in, and he played all the way through the game. Now, he did use warp pipes, but he knew where the one-up blocks were. He knew where the coin blocks were. He knew where everything was, and it was so neat to just watch him just plow through the game like he did. I remember how difficult World 8 was. It's still very difficult for me to this very day, but I was just impressed with how colorful it was, how catchy the music was, the way that the characters looked. It was mind-blowing. And to find out not long afterwards this was a game that was available for the NES, wow, that made me want one, although I didn't get one for another 4 years after I saw this for the first time. So, of course, with as popular as Super Mario Brothers was, you knew there was going to be a sequel, and we got Super Mario Brothers 2 in 1988, I believe. This, of course, is not a direct sequel. We know the story by now. This is Doki Doki Panic that's been repurposed with Mario characters. But we didn't know any different back then. We just knew this was the next game in line, and we had to play it. What's interesting about this game is that my friends didn't have this, and I didn't read a lot about it, and it was a game that I wasn't feeling at the time. It was a game that I didn't get until well after I got my NES. So I was late to the party on this game, but nevertheless, in playing it years later, I can understand why it has some popularity and some following. The music is very catchy, yet again. The different style of gameplay is a nice change from the original Super Mario Brothers, and it looks very good. So, yeah, Super Mario Brothers 2 kind of continued that tradition, right? Then comes the big one. The game that I love. The game that, if you ask me what my favorite game in the Mario series is, among all of them, and heaven knows there have been quite a few, it is the game I always consider my favorite, will always consider my favorite. And yes, I am talking about Super Mario Bros. 3, the game that was revealed in The Wizard in 1989, my favorite movie of all time, celebrating its 30th anniversary later this year. That stuns me. And I'd like to do a video on that, if only to talk about the fact that I didn't see it in theaters. I had to wait years and years and years until there was a DVD copy before I was able to get it for my very own. And even then, it's a movie that I wound up watching via Screw Attack and the commentary that Stuttering Craig did. There's a long story behind that, and I'll get to that later this year in a repeat episode. But anyway, this is the first Mario Brothers game that I played to completion. This was the first new Super Mario Brothers game that I got. It's one of the games that I got along with my NES back in 1990 for Christmas, along with Super C and Jeopardy 25th Anniversary Edition. It is my favorite Mario Brothers game, and probably in my top 10 favorite games of all time, at least at this particular moment. It is a great game with great music, great challenge, great graphics, great everything. It is a game that I hold in high esteem, although my skills have degraded so much in the last 30 years that, I don't know that I could play all the way through this now. I don't think my skill set is as good as it was back in 1990 and 91 when I beat it for the first time. But yeah, this game means a lot to me personally. So there it is. Okay. So then we zip ahead to 1993 and the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, by now, we've also been playing Super Mario World, which was a launch title for the Super NES. Great game, probably my second favorite Mario game of all time. It's a game that I also played all the way through, and why not? When the Super Nintendo came out, there weren't very many games just yet if you got it at launch, so you played what you had and you played it all the way through, and that was one of the games. But in 1993, Nintendo had this brilliant idea to take all three Super Mario Brothers games for the NES, remaster them with Super Nintendo graphics in stereo sound, and also add Super Mario Brothers 2, the original Super Mario Brothers 2. And what we got as a result is this guy, Super Mario All-Stars. Oh my goodness, when this game came out in 93, I bought it pretty much right away. I had to, because as a Nintendo fan, it's just what you did. Mario is basically that system's mascot, so you had to own it. So I bought this. I'll admit right now, I have not beaten any of the Mario games in the All-Stars version, but I have played all the way through it. The remaster is great. The Super Nintendo graphics are definitely look very good. I'm not necessarily a fan of the sound. I actually prefer the originals versus the Super Nintendo version, at least in terms of the music. But nevertheless, to have 4 Mario games in one cartridge, are you kidding me? It was a complete no-brainer. So, we're 6.5 minutes into this Unsealed video, and there is no new game that I've opened up. Pete, what are you doing? You're wasting my time. All right, no more. In 2010, we're now fast-forwarding to the Wii generation. The Nintendo Wii, what a phenomenon that was. I got mine in 06. I wound up selling it, unfortunately, in 2011 for my 3DS, and I recently, within the last 3 or 4 years, got one back. But in 2010, Nintendo decided to re-release Super Mario All-Stars for the Wii, and they did it in style. They didn't just re-release it. Oh, no. They went full on with a limited edition package, and that's what we're going to open today, a sealed 25th anniversary Super Mario All-Stars for the Wii. This is a game that I paid a little bit for, but I've been sitting on, and I don't want to sit on it anymore. I want to play it, so of course I've got to open it on camera. When we open the box up, there's a nice little insert here that goes over the games that are included, and it shows the years, as well as showing you that a CD comes with this and an art book. I had the Nintendo Selects version of Super Mario All-Stars that just comes with the disc, and that's not good enough for me. I wanted to have the whole shebang. So I found it on eBay. I paid the money, and here it is. We're going to open this for the first time. It's been waiting 9 years to be opened, so we're not going to delay any longer. This time, because this is the 4th take on this video, and I didn't have scissors for the others, I have scissors now, so we're going to go ahead and open the seal, I think. Oh, boy. There we go. Have to open the seal, because if we don't, we can't get into the box. These little plastic tabs, they are not my friends. I'll tell you that right now. Here we go. I got it. I got it. Okay, so let's open this up. When we do, there are 2 cases on the inside. We'll put the box over there for a minute. So the first thing that we'll look at is the Super Mario history, which is this guy right here. And it shows the NES with the CRT TV. Oh, so good. And it shows the Super Mario Brothers box, the controller. Oh, gosh. So many memories there. So let's go ahead and open this up. And let's see what's on the inside here. Now, this is hard to see because it's all red and silver. I'm not necessarily a fan of the color scheme. But it shows you a track listing, and there's music from Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 2, 3, World, 64, Sunshine, New Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Galaxy, Mario Brothers Wii, and Super Mario Galaxy 2, as well as a bunch of tracks from the original Super Mario Brothers. All right. So when we open this up, there we go. No turning back now, so I can't start the video over. When we open this up, we actually have the art book on the inside. Oh, this is awesome. As well as the soundtrack CD. So I'll show you what it looks like. There it is, right there. And we'll take a look at the art book. So this is what the art book looks like right here, Super Mario History. And oh gosh, this is so good. I love historic stuff like this. It shows you the timeline for all of the Mario titles all the way to 2010 with Super Mario Galaxy 2. Nice shot of Shigeru Miyamoto there. Some of the initial game sketches. Oh, man, this is cool. Kind of emotional, honestly, just seeing all of this historic stuff. It kind of gets you, especially when you become an old man like me, and you were there when these things initially came out. So to relive it, even in just art book form, means a lot. Here's Super Mario 64, the game that always gets me in trouble because it's not one of my favorite games. I prefer Super Mario Galaxy to it, but that's a story for another time. So yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff here. And look at this. All the staff making the 25th anniversary number. That's cool. That is cool. I can't wait to look at this in more detail. And it is a nice addition to have. And I can't wait to listen to the soundtrack. That's awesome. Nice little addition to the Super Mario All-Stars package. And then, of course, the Super Mario All-Stars game, which is right here. 4 classic Mario games, 1 disc. And again, this is the Super Nintendo game. There isn't any more remastering for the Wii, so it is the Super Nintendo game in its entirety. The only difference is that you can play with the Wii remote, turn it on its side like a Nintendo controller and play that way with this particular version. So when we open this up, and I'm going to do it so that you can see. There we go. Didn't mean for this video to go so long, but once I get talking about older games and my own experiences, I tend to go on for a little bit. So there's a note at the top here that says, this game was originally released for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. The ability to use Wii controllers has been added to this version. You can also use the Pro Controller and I believe the GameCube controller as well, so that's a nice touch. When we open this up, here we go. It's turned upside down. Oh, and Club Nintendo. Oh, gosh. There you go, right there. Club Nintendo, for those who may not remember, was Nintendo's original loyalty program where you went to the website, you entered the code, which is up there, which is no good anymore, and you were able to get points, which you could turn in for physical rewards like shirts, posters, pins, a whole bunch of cool stuff. I was very, very sad when Nintendo discontinued this for its new loyalty program, but this was awesome. I loved it. So there's that. What else do we have on the inside here? We have the instruction manual, which we're going to go over in some detail. And again, just want to show real quick what the disc looks like. I do like that red. It really stands out, I think. So when we take a look, the manual is in full color. Nintendo really did this right. Showing you how to use the Wii Remote if you turn it on its side, but that makes sense. And then just goes over the basics. And this is a pretty healthy manual. This manual is 38 pages long and even have some notes in the back if you decided that you wanted to make some notes. But it talks about the different moves. It talks about the different games and more. It looks fantastic. Of course, you've probably played these games, so the instruction manual is more for you to kind of just read at your leisure than anything else. You certainly don't need it to play the games, but still it's nice that Nintendo included this and really went the extra mile. I love the 25 coin block there for the 25th anniversary. So that is Super Mario All-Stars, the limited edition from 2010. You can get the Nintendo Selects version of this for your Wii if you're so inclined. I believe you can play all of the games on your Switch now, the NES versions. Hopefully, if the Super Nintendo gets some games for the Switch in the future, hopefully this will be one of the things that Nintendo offers, because it's a really good package and well worth checking out. So, thanks for watching this episode of Unsealed. It is one that I've been waiting a while to do. Thanks also for your feedback on Twitter, talking about whether Wii games were old enough to include for the show. Majority of you said yes, so we're going to go ahead and do that. In fact, we have one more Wii episode that may be coming next time, where I look at a pair of the best-selling Wii games of all time. You probably know what they are, and I'm going to be able to open those on camera for you, and I'm very excited about that. So, thanks for watching this episode of Unsealed, and until the next time, my friends, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you later.